back. WNST, Towson, Baltimore. And Baltimore positive. We are into the football season around here, and the purple highs and lows start to fade into October. But one thing for sure, we'll still be eating crab cakes into the fall. The big crabs are this time of year. My friends at Costas and Faithley's will tell you that. Maryland Crab Cake Tour makes its way back to Baltimore. We were at Nacho Mama's in Towson on Friday. You can check all that stuff out at the Baltimore Positive repository, including my back issues with Dr. Steve Elliott from Elliott Chiropractic Life, who's going to give me an attitude, life, and a posture adjustment at Nacho Mama. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Let yourself play, but just not too hard with a bag in St. Louis, dragging it up a hill. Mike Rosenfeld is my dude, my CFO, CHO, Chief Healing Officer, amongst other things. And at some point, I'll get you out for a crab cake. Hey, we're having a crab cake with the mayor this week with Brandon Scott on Friday, 3:00 at Coco's. That's his choice. So I'm in the city, and I know you have city ties. This may be your big opportunity to make your way over and meet the mayor.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. First of all, I love a crab cake. Love to get out. We've tried a couple of other times, but yeah, love to see that happen for sure.
Look, if we don't do crab cake, we'll do Pizza John's. We go to Chaucer and get some of that delicious ahi tuna, do something like that. But look, I wanted to have you on this week. We talk about a lot of serious web issues, but it's come to my attention, and this is the third time this week, that someone has said two words that I recognize together. I literally will show myself to be the village idiot. All right. I mean, I'm the guy that admits I've never seen Shawshank Redemption, that I've never seen The Wire. I've made all these admissions, and I think I learned what steeping tea was in my 30s. I don't think I tasted a caper until I was 40. So I'm always learning things, and I'm open-minded, and that's the genesis of Baltimore Positive. But I don't know what pickleball is, and I've had a couple people tell me I played pickleball. I blew my back out. I blew my back out carrying a bag to get frozen custard in St. Louis, right? So, crazy stuff happens. And when I see movement, like I'm a tennis player. I've played tennis. I love tennis, but I haven't played in the last 20 years because like the motion of doing it probably would not be good on my 53 years at this point. I've learned this after my knee surgery, but pickleball, what WTF? What is it? I've been hearing a lot about it the last month, but I haven't Googled it.
So I would say pickleball is, so I'm only in it for 2 months. Pickleball, I guess I would describe as a combination between tennis and table tennis.
Somebody said this to me. This makes no sense to me. I have not Googled it. I don't know how foolish anyone would look. Like, I'm thinking that the people that I know that play pickleball were the people that used to play racquetball. And that always seemed like, why don't you just play tennis? You know what I mean? Like racquetball to me just always felt like something it didn't feel like fun. It felt like work. It didn't feel like sport. It felt like something I wouldn't enjoy.
Well, look, honestly, I resisted playing because I associated pickleball with people who are older, and I guess we're all getting older. But everyone who I knew played were older, and
so
maybe
I played a lot of tennis and a lot of table tennis. So like, I don't know why has this not come to me? Is this a new thing? When's the first time you heard of pickleball to be involved in playing it? And again, I don't even know what it is, but go ahead.
Look, I'm not going to represent. I'm the ambassador of pickleball.
No, you play it though. You've done it. And I've heard about it 3 times today.
I have done it.
Okay.
First of all, it's social. So those people who exercise, who don't play tennis any longer for whatever reason, it's a way to get outside.
Dude, I'm done picking up chicks. I don't need that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
I
don't need the sports and social league. I don't, I got friends. So you got to sell me on something besides like, this is going to be something you and I are going to do, because you and I could like get a crab cake and we don't. We could go to see Dead and Company and we haven't. You could take my extra tickets to the Stone Show on Monday and jump in the car, and we could do a 10-hour meeting to and from Pittsburgh if you want. So there's a lot of things I could do with people I like, right? Literally. Like my wife is like, we don't go to movies. I'm like, we don't talk at a movie. That's why I don't go to movies, because I don't want to sit still and stare at something for 2 hours. I do that all day.
All right, I'm going to rephrase that. Okay. You do yoga. I don't know if you do most of your yoga by yourself or with others.
This is strange. I've had to do it alone the last 18 months and I hate it.
Okay. So
I just would rather be in a room.
So I have been doing the Peloton, which is a solo exercise in a room by myself to get exercise. I wear my Apple Watch because I'm a tech guy, follow my heart, follow my health,
My wife does
and
all that. Yep.
it's
Okay.
lonely. Pickleball, I put my Apple Watch on. I set my Apple
This is
Watch.
why people get in that Peloton and they compete with each other and makes it a big video game. It's a big
It,
Donkey Kong game.
not yes, yes, yeah, I'd say that.
More
But
like burger time without the burgers for me,
but given a choice to be by myself on a Peloton to get my heart rate in the 160s versus being on a pickleball court with socially with other people to get my heartbeat at the same place, burn the same amount of calories, earn that crab cake I've eaten, earn that pizza that I've eaten. It's much more enjoyable than being by yourself.
Should you try to explain this to me better, or should I Google it, or should I like? What should my gateway to pickleball be other than several of me, people my contemporary types, have all said to me they were playing pickleball today. Today, I don't know, 72 degrees. It's beautiful outside. Is this an outdoor thing?
It is an outdoor thing. Well,
okay, all right. So that now I understand. So did this exist 10 years? I mean, who made this ish up?
look, as far as I know, it was invented 6 months ago because that's when I heard about it first.
Okay, 6 months.
But it's been long. It's been long before that. You should also know that it's indoors also. So we went to play, and I didn't feel as old because my kids who are in their 20s were into it. We actually went and rented an indoor court, tennis court in Pikesville that is converted to multiple pickleball courts because it's that popular.
See, in the old days, the old Nasty Nestor days, you know what I'd do right now? If you were in my studio and we were like pals, I just pick up the phone and I'd call my kid, who's 37 as of 8 days ago, right? I bet he's heard of it, right? Like a lot of his friends must play. This is a late 30s. Because we're 50s. We're a whole different level. But I would think when you're done with the beer league softball and the sports and social club and sliding in the second base and like fighting with umpire, like all that ish that I would want no part of as an adult, especially in the modern world, fighting with, I see people with the little leagues and what they deal with in that environment. How many people play pickleball? This is a really important game because I have a friend who's pretty much an angry Republican at this point. You know, I see his Facebook threads. He was happier when Trump was a lunatic running the place, which is insane to me. But his whole business idea, and you might know this person, so I'm not going to out him. His whole business concept, one day we got together and he was having problems with his business. My track record with my former employees who were all over at 105.7, you can go wave to them. He said to me, you want to start a business? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 3 people, you, me, and one other person. We don't want anybody else in the business. And I thought about that. I thought that's kind of antisocial. And the longer I get rolling in the business space, I understand smaller, I can move the boat better or whatever. But when it comes to social activity, this is what I've learned. Maybe you and I would have the same tennis acumen to go play tennis. Maybe you and I would have the same whatever to do a 2-person thing. But I find like 4 people at golf, I'm like, I don't know, me and 3 people for 5 hours walking a course, they're going to be really competitive. That's the golf thing for me. The pickleball thing, and I've learned this through group activities, when you get 10 people playing a volleyball game, there's 2 of them that want to beat everybody's ass. There's 3 of them that don't care. And there's 5 that sort of want to keep the peace and just want everybody to have a good time. And I've never found, like, even when I was competitive enough to play competitive softball, there was always some dickhead that was involved in it that I'm just sort of like, that guy's going to make it no fun for all 20 people doing it. So there's a spirit of me at 53 that had, and this is politics now, right? Like this has played itself out where people don't get vaccines. I mean, I spent 3 days in the Midwest wearing a mask and people looked at me like I was a leper and treated me as such, mistreated me because I was wearing a mask. So I don't, group activities to me in my spare time usually involve drinks and like conversation. That's where I am. So I have a real disconnect with people who want to participate in competitive events. Life is competitive, bro. So how many people, what's a pickleball team? I hear it's a foursome thing, maybe like bridge.
Oh man, like bridge. Okay, so yes, you can play
I do
singles.
comedy on the side. Friday night, come see me, Mickey. No, I should do comedy, but no.
You can play singles, but I only play doubles. I have 2 games a week. One game is competitive. No one in the competitive game is a jerk like you've described, but
Oh, good, good.
I know the personality type you're describing perfectly. And the
I
other
don't
is
need to win at pickleball. I don't even know what the F it is. I don't even know
right.
how to play. I don't. Winning would be just not hurting myself, especially as my back hurts right now. Plug for Dr. Steve.
The second game I play, two of the four of us have 4 new knees. So they had both knees replaced. So that is a more casual game.
What's wrong with you guys with your knees? I didn't need my freaking knee replaced.
I'm not one of them.
I have both. I didn't need to run in a marathon. I mean, when my knee blew out, I found yoga, bro. I found, a whole different level of like, I got to stay in shape, but I'm not pound. I can't do it. It's not good for me.
I'm holding on to both of my knees still. So, but I, like you, love to be social around food, around drink, around good conversations with bright people. This is a similar vibe. Here's how
that's what golf is. Everybody says, well, if you had like 3 people and you're
no,
all
golf
the same,
is different because almost everyone sucks at golf. Even the people who are good can suck. But let me explain to you pickleball to see if you would like it or not. Okay. If you played tennis and you preferred the ground game, back and forth, baseline to baseline, pickleball is not for you. If you like playing up at the net and bam, bam, and quick reflex type of stuff.
That's ping pong.
And that's more pickleball. So the game I play with the people with replacement knees,
you play over a net like tennis? Is that
the goal is to get to the net, both 4 people at the net, and whoever has the best reflexes and can move the quickest.
So if this is like the beach ping pong game, kind of.
I would say that there's a piece to that.
I mean, I've seen that game. I don't know what the hell it was called. It was called paddleball on the beach or what, you know what I mean? Like I've played that game, right?
Yes. Yeah. This is
now you picked up chicks doing that. Now come on. Yeah. Nobody played that for pleasure. You know what I mean? Like literally.
Yeah. But
maybe with your niece or something, your nephew, but you wouldn't. No.
Yeah. So the ball's more like a wiffle ball, but it doesn't move weird, but it's the same material. So it's not like a tennis ball. It doesn't bounce as high. And there's
if it hits you, does it sting?
It does. And if it hits you, even if it was going to go out, it's the other person's point.
I always thought that with racquetball, you dudes are wearing your goggles and stuff. Like, I don't know. Does anybody play racquetball anymore? Or is that passe?
I'm sure they must, but
I don't hear about it. It doesn't come to me.
No, I don't hear about it.
And everybody I know that played racquetball now has hip replacement. Well, look, that's the truth.
I will. You are cordially invited.
I'm not playing. No.
Why not?
Ask my wife if I would play pickleball.
You just said that I expanded my horizons. You didn't need a caper until you were 40.
My back hurts right now. It's a bad time to talk to me about moving.
Well, you know what? I hate to tell you, but my back hurts too, and it's only because of pickleball. So
well, that's another reason.
I'm sure you're officially out. You're out.
Dude, I went into the golf course for that BMW, and I've played plenty of golf. I've played my wife and I were on vacation. There was a tennis court, and I had a Jones. Like I was like, and they had a pro, and I was like, I could go hit. I haven't hit in a while. Right. I like to hit. So every time I drive past Patapsco High School or EVT, I think about the lights being on in the 80s and me looking for 50 different friends to go. Dude, I loved tennis. I mean, like tennis is what I played more than any other sport. I loved to play tennis, but tennis was so weird because you had to find somebody of the same caliber in Dundalk. Right. In the early 80s, there glass all over the courts, up in Eastwood, they turned it into a hockey rink. So where can you play pickleball? Is there a special park or can you play on grass? Is it like Roland Garros or no?
Yeah, no, it's typically on a retro tennis court. There's a bunch of public places, high schools. You can look online, I'm sure, find it, and basically
I've never heard of it before. I had a text from a friend of mine late last month, mid to late August. I was having a little work issue with one of my purple friends, and I got a text back saying was playing pickleball, and I'm like, okay, whatever that is. I mean, and this is an uber competitive, all the above. Tennis, racquetball, gotta compete, Mahler's like that. I got no I compete. Life's hard enough, just staying alive is a competition, right? Keeping my website running, right? Tell everybody how important that is. That you help me keep my website. That's what freaks. That I'm uber competitive. I'll curse and throw things over that, but not. You know how many tennis rackets I've thrown in my life? How competitive I was.
Yeah.
I used to destroy the tape. I had a Prince racket and I'd miss a shot at the net and I'd go all Nastasi and like nuts. I'm not that way anymore, but I am about the website. So this pickleball thing hits me 6 weeks ago and then 3 times today, including you, tell me pickleball. And I'm like, all right, we got to talk. So tell everybody what you really do, not just pickleball, like in your spare time, keeping people like me afloat in a very, very crowded digital space.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So Web Connection, we are outsourced chief digital officers. We help small to mid-sized businesses who don't know that their website, their digital marketing, their social media strategy, email marketing, all of that should be helping them grow, but they don't have in-house a leader to set the strategy and execute on it. So we work on a part-time, affordable basis for small to mid-sized businesses. So for lack of a better term, they can kick their competitors' ass digitally, whether it's improving their website, using analytics, and driving the right people to it to grow their businesses.
Well, we are certainly in the process of doing that at Baltimore Positive as the Maryland Crab Cake Tour moves out on Fridays. Don and I continue to bring on great guests and do what we're doing here, and obviously spreading the gospel. Nothing quite like Ravens season to sort of move that thing along. And we get into sort of this flow of having games every week and sports and all that stuff. So I certainly appreciate that you are sporty in that way, introducing me to pickleball today. I mean, this used to be a sports station, right? I mean, they used to tell me stick to sports. I just learned in 15 minutes that I'm probably a pickleball candidate. Like, right? I mean, because of the ping pong, like my wife could play pickleball.
Yeah, of course you can. My wife, my wife and I and my 2 sons played, and really enjoyed it. Got a nice workout in. I think the pickleball people may have been, I'm a branding person. Maybe just the name of it kind of turns some people off. But
why? What do they call it? Why that? What's the?
I have no idea. I have no idea. There's no part of the game to me that makes sense that it's called pickleball. I also think that if your days of throwing rackets need to be behind you. Very uncool etiquette to throw a pickleball racket. So
I would never do that.
Okay.
No,
just want to make sure you're
okay. There's the problem. I won't care enough about winning, and one of the other 3 of you will. And that screws it all up. You know what I mean? If you want to get competitive with me, invite me over for Trivial Pursuit. I'll kick your ass. And everybody, like the Jeopardy stuff, my wife and I get a little competitive on the Jeopardy side. So that's where I'm competing with my mind at this point because my body's giving out, man. I mean, it is, right?
Right. Well, I hear you. I think when you're healed, you should give it a whirl. I'll introduce you to a good crew of like-minded people.
I don't need another bad habit. I've got a website. You know this.
I hear you. Okay.
Mike Rosenfeld is here. He is our web connection, and he's my friend. And you hear his ads in his dulcet tones from time to time, doing the ad at WNST. You can find him. And, I want to ask you just one more thing on the pickleball thing. My wife and I never pass a ping pong table without playing. Does that make me, I'm trying to, you're like my priest, right? Like my rabbi. I mean, I got to admit everything to you, especially on the website. I'm admitting that like the pickleball thing, I might be a candidate because like I already play. I'm trying to think if I was on the beach and you and your wife are over there snapping the little ball, the little ping pong balls on the beach they play, whether I would want to get in the game, watch the game, or just go back to listening to Tom Petty and drinking. You know what I mean? And on the beach, I never got in the game. I mean, right. Maybe when I was single in the 90s in Ocean City or something, but I never find that when I'm walking by Rash Field and everybody's playing volleyball, and I love volleyball, but volleyball was the ultimate where you get 12 people out on the court and there'd be 12 different levels of ability, frustration, importance of winning, even though there was no prize, diving and getting skinned up and doing all those things that like I gave up my Karch Karai, but I loved I was very, very competitive about sports at one point in my life, and I just have let it go, and I think I'm happier that way. And my back hurts from doing stuff that's not pickleball.
Yeah, I'm saying if you like ping pong, table tennis, you will like a pickleball. the stuff on the beach, I never did that. That seemed to me to, just a time waster. There's just
Right.
back and forth. This is not that. This
There's
is a
beer to drink. There's music to listen to.
yeah,
There's scopies to make. There's
yeah,
sandcastles to build. There's things to do. Like I didn't.
yeah. Not even a good analogy between those two things.
I want to sweat on a beach just sitting there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's the way I want it when I go to the beach.
I feel pickleball is more table tennis than tennis. Other
You
people may
use the
disagree.
ground though on pickleball. The ball hits the ground and comes up.
The ball hits the ground, barely comes up because the ball is literally wiffle ball material. You have to let it hit the ground once on each side, and then you can go at it.
It has to hit the ground. So
it has to hit on the serve. It has to hit the ground. The return volley has to hit the ground. Then it's up to you.
It's 1-2 open. I got you.
And then once people know how to play, they go up to as close to the net as they can. I'm not going to bore you.
I already like that rule better than the guy on second base in the 10th inning. Just so you know, this sounds like somebody's thought this, even though they didn't do a good job with the name of it.
Yeah.
All
right. Well,
what's catching on?
If you change your mind, you have a friend in me. You let me know.
All right. You got anything in the tech space you want to complain about or anything, or no?
I mean, it could go on. Just literally right now in Congress, they're talking about to the leaders of Facebook and Instagram about how they're killing literally young elementary, middle school girls with a policy with a platform in Instagram that they know based on their own studies is dangerous to this audience, but they've done nothing about it.
And I'm sure they can sell plenty of advertising in that space to those young folks.
Well, that was what was they talked about. One of the senators and both sides of the aisle unusually are in lockstep with this.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Let's build around that in this country.
That's right. One of them set up a fake profile as a 13-year-old girl, and within 24 hours, they were bombarded with diet pills and body morphing and all this stuff without even doing anything. And look, I'm glad that my kids are grown up. I asked my son before you and I were talking, he grew up with Facebook, maybe in middle school, and he didn't have any issues with it, but it's a problem. It's a problem.
Well, the social and bullying. We had John Carden on earlier today. We had an unbelievable chat with Krish Vignaraja. There are a lot of folks who are familiar with Theroux around here. She ran for governor, and we had her on for an hour. It was unbelievable the work that they're doing over at Lutheran, right in my neighborhood, to help people. And it's a lot of great stories in the big city. We had the Red Devils on this week talking about breast cancer survivors. So there are stories out there, but I needed to get pickleball out of you. We'll get back to talking about serious, heavy stuff and heavy web stuff. Mike Rosenfeld, my friend from Web Connection, he could be your friend too, and certainly can be a great doctor to your situation if you're a small business owner like I am here locally, duking it out with all the big boys. Mike, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Always.
The show will be better next time because my back will feel better and I'll be more open-minded to physical activity.
All good.
I am Nestor. You can find me anytime, anywhere at Baltimore Positive. You can also find us at the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. We're going to be at Coco's with the mayor Friday, October the 8th. That's the Friday before the Ravens and the Colts game. Make sure you come out and say hello if you'd like to do that. We're going to be having some crab cakes each and every Friday. It's all powered up by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. Let yourself play. I'm playing along here with a little back ailment, but in there, ready for some Ravens football. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We never stop talking pickleball. It's like sports around here on Baltimore Positive.